Energy is the backbone of every economy. But when a country depends heavily on imported oil and gas, its economy becomes vulnerable. To address this challenge, the government has launched Samudra Manthan, the National Offshore Exploration Scheme. Hello everyone, my name is Rajni Jha. Welcome to Drishti IAS. In today's session, we are going to talk about this Samudra Manthan scheme. Let's get started. So why is this in news? The Union Cabinet has approved Samudra Manthan, the National Offshore Exploration Scheme. Let's understand this first. Onshore means towards land. Offshore means away from land or coastal areas, within the sea, within the ocean, within the water bodies, towards the seabed. So it is National Offshore Exploration Scheme. So we are going to explore the sea, the ocean, the water body, the seabeds to be precise. It is a central sector scheme. What is a central sector scheme? Central sector scheme is a scheme which is 100% funded and implemented by the central government. Which ministry is it under? The Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, and it has an outlay of 84,084 crore, pretty expensive, and it is to be implemented till financial year 2030 and 31. But the question is, why is it named Samudra Manthan? I'm sure you must have heard about Samudra Manthan. In Hindu mythology, Samudra Manthan, or churning of the ocean, is a story in which demons and gods, they both join forces to churn the ocean of milk to obtain Amrit and some hidden treasures. So something like that is happening here as well. In Samudra Manthan, we will be exploring the seabeds, seas, oceans, water bodies to figure out the hidden treasures. And the hidden treasures we are trying to figure out here are oil and natural gas. So Samudra Manthan is a national mission to accelerate offshore oil and natural gas exploration and production by investing in exploration, technology, infrastructure and manufacturing. So here we will be mainly focused on exploration. Exploration means searching and production means extracting. So what will happen is we will try to search for oil and natural gases, and scientists will first try to find out where these oil and natural gases are present beneath the seabeds. Once we figure out where they are present, the companies will build offshore platforms and pipelines to extract and transport it for our use, right? Now, why is this scheme needed? First, understand that India remains heavily dependent on imported energy. Right now, 88 to 89% of crude oil is being imported, and approximately 50% of natural gas is being imported. When we are so heavily dependent on the imports, we also become vulnerable. How? Now, let's imagine a scenario that, let's say, there is a change in global price. So, oil prices in the international market, we know that they keep rising and falling. And because they keep rising and falling, there are times when there are higher global prices. If there are higher global prices and we are so much dependent on the imports, that means that we'll have to pay higher prices also, and we become vulnerable, right? That's one problem. What other problems are there? Second is disruptions. There can be supply disruptions, right? Now, it is a possibility that oil is available, but there are disruptions. For example, if there's tension in the Strait of Hormuz, then oil, even though they are available, they won't be able to supply it to the countries that require it. In that case also, the problem will be the same. Prices will go higher, and because we are so heavily dependent on import, our import bill will go higher. That is again a problem, and we become vulnerable also because we need energy anyway. Then there are geopolitical risks. What does that mean? See, energy imports also depend on relation between countries. So let's say there is Russia-Ukraine war or Israel and Iran tensions. In these tensions, now even though India is not directly related, directly it's not a part, yet the transport of energy resources will be disrupted in such cases also. This is geopolitical tension. So even if there is geopolitical tension, geopolitical risk, in such cases also, the oil prices can rise, the supplies can reduce, and it will increase uncertainty. And as I told you, because of all these reasons, if the oil prices rise and we are dependent so much on the imports, our bill will also rise, import bill will also rise. So because of all these things, we need to be dependent on ourselves. We need to be self-dependent rather than being dependent so heavily on the imports. And that is why this scheme is needed. Next is, what are the key features of this scheme? First, this I've already told you. Let me just reiterate it for you. The outlay is of 84,084 crore. Then it is a central sector scheme. Which ministry? Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, and duration up to financial year 2030 and 31. So what are the key features? The key features of this is a comprehensive offshore exploration. What does that mean? Here there will be different ways by which we will explore these oils and natural gases. For example, there will be large scale seismic survey and geological mapping. What does that mean? That means that scientists will use sound waves to find places under the sea where they may find oil and natural gases. Then there is processing and interpretation of geological data. We already have geological data. So the experts will study these collected information and choose which is the best place for drilling. Next, deep water and ultra deep water exploratory drilling. So there will be drilling deep under the sea. Why? For the search of oil and natural gas. Then there is scientific drilling in frontier offshore basins and development of shared offshore production and evacuation infrastructure. After we are done with the drilling, we have found the oil and natural gas, we will be making shared, that is common offshore production and evacuation infrastructure, so that we can use this in production and manufacturing. Integrated oil and gas manufacturing and service zones will be made. Digital program management will be done. Now we know for a fact that the project can be managed digitally. So we will use digital tools to plan, monitor and manage the project. We will use modern technology, technological adaptation and capacity building and international cooperation. What does that mean? That trained skilled workers, and we will also learn from global experts to improve this offshore exploration. So this is going to be a very comprehensive exploration of these resources, oil and natural gas in offshore areas, right? Okay. Next is, what are the expected outcomes? The expected outcome would be, it would add over 600 million metric tons of oil equivalent to India's hydrocarbon reserves. Then it will increase domestic oil and natural gas production, right? It will reduce our dependence on energy imports. Then it will also ensure long-term energy security, because we will be able to produce in our own country itself. We are not dependent on anyone else. Then it will also improve large-scale employment. It will generate large-scale employment in any industry. Whenever there is a new industry that comes up, it always generates employment. So this will also generate large-scale employment. It will promote indigenous manufacturing under Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat, because this whole exploration is indigenous. We are doing it in our own country. Then it will also attract investments across the oil and gas value chain, and it will build globally competitive offshore technologies and services. So the major expected outcomes are that our dependence on the imports will decrease, we will be self-sufficient, it will generate employment and long-term energy security. These are the main outcomes that we are expecting, and it will add over 600 million metric tons of oil equivalent to India's hydrocarbon reserves. Now, what is the significance of this? The significance is, first, energy security. I'm sure you must have guessed it by now, that because we are so much dependent on imports, if we start making it in our country, it will ensure energy security and it will reduce our dependence on the imports. So this scheme aims to reduce India's dependence on imported hydrocarbons by increasing domestic exploration and production, and it will make country less vulnerable to global shocks, global energy shocks. Similarly, blue economy. It will also expand India's blue economy beyond fisheries, ports and shipping. Now, what is blue economy? Blue economy means that ocean resources are used for economic growth. Blue economy means ocean resources are used for economic growth while taking care of marine environment as well. So right now our blue economy is dependent on fisheries, ports and shipping. After offshore energy resources, utilization of this, sustainable utilization of this will also become a part of our blue economy. So it will expand our blue economy. Then it will, of course, strengthen Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat, India's own domestic capabilities, and at the same time it will generate employment and industrial growth through offshore engineering, petroleum services, manufacturing, logistic, technology and digital services. So this is the significance of this scheme. But at the same time, there should be some challenges as well. There's a lot of potential here, but there are challenges also. What are the challenges? Now think about it. We discussed that it is going to have an outlay of 84,084 crore, right? So it is very capital intensive. The capital investment is very high, and there is exploration risk as well. Offshore drilling is very expensive, right? But even though it is expensive, there's no guarantee that we will find enough oil and gases. That's one risk, that's one challenge here. Second, we said that we will be using advanced technology, but as of now, we have very sophisticated technologies. So there is dependence on advanced technologies for this scheme to be successful. That is a challenge for us because we don't have it now, as of now. Then it will take several years from exploration to production. So this gestation period is very long. And at the same time, there is environmental concerns also. If we are doing offshore drilling, that can cause oil spills, and at the same time that can also disrupt marine ecosystem. So there are challenges. Despite potential of this scheme, there are challenges as well. Now, before we move ahead to the last part of this session, my NCERT course live is going on, and it is at 5 p.m. every day, 5 p.m. from Monday to Friday. We are covering new NCERTs as of now. So if you are not a part of it, I would really urge you to be a part of it. Be there at 5 p.m. sharp. It is available live, and I will be teaching new NCERTs in this session. Okay. Now the practice question. Question says, consider the following statements regarding the Samudra Manthan National Offshore Exploration Scheme. This is the first, second and third statement. First statement says it is a central sector scheme implemented by Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. Second, it aims to accelerate offshore exploration of oil and natural gas. And third, it focuses only on deep water drilling and does not support geological surveys. You have to tell me which of these are correct. Your options are option A, 1 and 2 only, B, 2 and 3 only, C, 1 and 3 only, or D, 1, 2 and 3 only. And now we come to the last part of this session, which is mains answer writing practice. And the question says, India's long-term energy security requires greater exploitation of its domestic offshore hydrocarbon resources. In this context, examine the significance of Samudra Manthan, the National Offshore Exploration Scheme. Also discuss the major challenges associated with its implementation. So let's understand the question first. In the first line itself, it talks about India's energy security, long-term energy security, and the fact that there is a requirement for exploitation of our own resources, right? Okay. There are two main parts here that you have been asked to explain. First is examine the significance. So you have to tell the significance of Samudra Manthan and the challenges, discuss the challenges. What are the challenges that can come up with its implementation? You have to discuss that as well. Because it is a 10-marker question. You don't have to write a lot. You can start with introduction. What would you write in the introduction? In the introduction, you can say that you can simply define, first of all, what is Samudra Manthan scheme? It is a central sector scheme, right? Because this question specially asks you about this scheme, so we will use this. So you can briefly define Samudra Manthan as central sector scheme, and it is aimed at accelerating offshore oil and gas exploration to strengthen India's energy security, because the first line talks about India's energy security. Next, in the body, what would you write? The first part of body would be significance, because the first thing that has been asked is significance. So you can write that it strengthens energy security, it reduces import dependence, it increases domestic oil and gas production, right? And it also expands blue economy, and all those points you can write in the significance. Then what are the major challenges? That there's a huge dependence on advanced technologies. We are not yet adapted to it. First. Second, it has a very high capital cost, exploration risks, environmental concerns are there. Then you can explain all these things in the second part of the body, where you have been asked to discuss the major challenges. And finally, you can write the conclusion, right? You can write the conclusion as you can emphasize that this success depends on combining whatever problems you have given here. You can combine those things and write that the success depends on this, because it has huge potential. So it will make a very overall good answer, a good conclusion, good answer. So if you have practiced mains answer writing questions with me in every session, by now you must have gotten the idea of what framework should look like. I'm sure of it. But if you haven't, then you should start at least now. So that's it for today's session. I really hope that you enjoyed the lecture and you have understood everything that I was trying to explain. And I would love to see your answers of this question in the comment section below. So please answer the prelims practice question and the mains answer writing practice question. Also, you can write framework or you can write the model answer, both of them in the comment section below. So that's it for today's session. Until next time, take care.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.